Good morning, Miss Braley's class. I'm back again with our book report card, and I'm on chapter 4, and I couldn't wait to find out what is in this chapter because I was just like dying to read it. So this chapter is called The Reading of the Grades. Remember that she is just about to have to go down to dinner and tell her parents her grades. My mom had made a fantastic meal and we ate in the dining room. Steak and baked potatoes and green beans and a fresh fruit salad and hot rolls and butter and strawberry jelly. There was a white tablecloth and lace placemats and tall green candles and the best silverware, even cloth napkins. We always had great food on report card day. No meatloaf, no macaroni and cheese, no tuna noodle casserole, not on report card day. Then came dessert, also wonderful. Apple crisp made with fresh apples from the orchard over on Route 27, plus vanilla ice cream. But I wasn't that hungry. It reminded me of the last meal they served to a prisoner before an execution. After the dessert dishes were cleared away, we were all sitting at the table and my mom said, "All right, who wants to be the first to read a report card tonight?" It was a pointless question. The reading of the grades was a well-established ritual. It followed a definite pattern. Anne always read her grades first, then Todd, and then me. Anne said, "I'll go first." No smile. Anne was all business. It was Anne's junior year in high school. Anne is tall, blonde, athletic, and intense. Kind of pretty, too. People say I look like her, except I'm not tall, and my hair's more reddish than blonde, and I try not to be intense. So I guess these people who say we look alike are crazy. Anne had been elected junior class president. She was co-captain of the girls' field hockey team and the girls' basketball team. She had been the youngest member of last year's math decathlon, and the team had placed first in the state competition. Anne was taking 4 advanced placement courses and 1 honors class. She was trying to graduate from high school a semester early. She wanted to get a scholarship to Georgetown University and study international relations. Intense is the right word. Mom smiled and said, "All right, Anne, let's hear how you did." Anne unfolded her computer-printed grade sheet. I knew what was coming. Everyone knew what was coming. Anne began reading Honors Chemistry, A+, AP English, A, AP World History, A, AP Physics, A+, AP Spanish, A, Phys Ed, A+, Mixed Chorus, A+, and an A- in driver's education, but that won't count against my class rank. "That's terrific, Annie." My dad's smile made him look like a piano. He said, "Not much room for improvement, and that's the way it ought to be. Great, just great." Mom said, "You should be very proud of yourself, Anne. All your hard work is really paying off." Then turning to my side of the table, Mom said, "Okay, who's next, Nora or Todd?" Another pointless question. Never in his life had Todd let me do anything ahead of him. He said, "I'm next." Todd was in 8th grade. He had lots of friends and lots of interests, like mountain biking and snowboarding and playing electric guitar and being a 1960s rock and roll trivia nut. Todd's school sport was soccer, but he wasn't a star player, which is what I am. And that's not bragging about my soccer player, that's just a fact. Schoolwork wasn't easy for Todd, especially reading, but Mom and Dad kept after him, so he worked pretty hard, and his grades usually showed it. Todd cleared his throat. And he glanced at Dad and then at Mom, gulped once, and pushed his straight brown hair up off his forehead and then began to read. Todd always read his best grades first. Gym class, A+, math, A-, science, B, it's a B+. Social studies, B, and a B- in English, but I was only 2 points away from a plain B. Mom and Dad nodded thoughtfully for a moment, and then Mom said, "Well, that's a pretty good report, Todd, but I don't think it's really the best you can do, is it? Especially that B- in English. I think you'd be a little disappointed with that. At the conference last month, Miss Flood said you need to spend more time with your writing and you need to take your outside reading assignments more seriously. Don't you think that would help?" Todd nodded and said, yeah, I guess, but still, Mom, I gotta be average, and that's good. You should see Tom's grades. But we're not talking about Tom. Dad was not smiling. We're talking about you. You're almost in high school now, and you've got to start being more serious. Grades like that might get you into a state school or into a little college somewhere out in the middle of nowhere, but those grades won't get you into a good college. No way. It's time to get down to business. Agreed? Tom made a sheepish face and nodded. Yeah, okay, I'll do better. I will. And then all eyes swung to me. My cheeks felt hot. I hadn't planned well for this part. I had thought reading my grades out loud wouldn't be a problem, but it was. Before Mom could ask, I said, I don't want to read them. Don't try to tell me that my 5th grade grades are important, because I know for a fact that they aren't. And they're all based on a bunch of stupid information that anybody with half a brain can memorize. Tests and grades and all of it, it's all just stupid. Shocked silence. And then at Conway, my dad said, please read your grades to us, Nora. I shook my head. You can look at them if you want to, but I'm not going to read them. My grades are my business and nobody else's. My dad started to say something, but Mom cut in and said, Nora, I know this may be hard for you, but it's important. You're in 5th grade now. You have to get used to the fact that grades do matter. They matter a lot. So please, read your grades. We know everybody's different and not everyone's going to do as well as everyone else. We're not comparing you to Todd or Ann or anybody. We just want to be able to talk about school and how you're doing. Talk about it as a family. I didn't budge. There's nothing to talk about. May I please be excused? This was too much for my dad. No, he shouted, you may not be excused. You're not leaving this table until you've read your grades out loud to your family. I put my sealed report card on the middle of my placemat. Fine, I said. Sit here as long as you like, but I'm not reading my grades. A long 3 minutes passed in silence, and then I folded my arms and I put my head down on the table. Todd cleared his throat and said, Dad, Tommy's mom's going to be here in 10 minutes. She's driving us to the movies, and I got to get ready, so may I be excused, please? And could I have my allowance? 5 minutes after that, I was alone at the table. Around 9:30, I pulled 3 chairs together so I could lie down. I kicked my shoes off, moved a bunch of things out of the way, and slid the tablecloth toward me so I could use it like a blanket. I'd been asleep, so I'm not sure what time it was, but it was later, and I heard my mom say, Carry her up to bed, Jim. She's won this round, and we might as well admit it. I kept my eyes shut. My dad said, Yep, she can be a tough little cookie, all right. She'd make a great lawyer, I bet, except first she'd have to get into law school somewhere. I heard the sound of ripping paper, and I knew what it was. He was opening my report card. I heard him pull in a sharp breath, and then, my gosh, no wonder Nora wouldn't read this. Look, Carla, it's all D's. Everything but spelling, and that's a C. Goodness, that was Mom. I don't believe it. How did this happen? Dad said, Well, let's shake her and sit her up right now and find out. Mom said, No, Jim, not now. Poor child. Think how ashamed she must feel about such terrible marks. Just take her upstairs. We can talk about it tomorrow. I felt the tablecloth slip off my back and my legs, and then Dad's strong arms lifted me up. It had been a long time since my dad had carried me up to bed. I heard my mom behind us on the stairs. Careful you don't bang her head on anything. And my dad said softly, With grades like those, it probably couldn't hurt. Mom said, That's not funny. I was glad they didn't try to get me into my pajamas, because I'm sure it would have tickled. My mom just peeled off my socks, tucked the quilt under my chin, kissed me softly on the forehead, and then closed my door. I opened my eyes and stared into the darkness. I wondered if I had done enough thinking about my plan, because first I had tried to think about what I wanted to accomplish, and then I had tried to think of all the steps I had to take, and how my steps would lead to the steps other people would take. I had done a lot of thinking, and that's something I've gotten good at. But had I thought of every single thing that could go wrong at every single step, and had I thought of enough ways to get around each possible problem? Lying in the dark, I faced a fact. I wouldn't know if my plan would work until it did. or didn't.